Happy fall, everybody. So welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you are doing well and swell. Officially yesterday was the first day of fall, but today feels like, for me at least, it feels like the transition is today. And I said that because today, so I sleep with my window open, like as it starts to cool down a lot more. And when I woke up this morning, it felt like fall. It's crazy to me how as soon as the days switch, like the weather switches well. And so yeah, to me today feels more so like fall for sure. I'm excited, I'm happy. What are you harvesting is the message for today. What have you sowed, and what are you harvesting? So when I'm in the shower sometimes, y'all, like water for me is everything. So that's when sometimes I get a lot of downloads. And some of the things that I heard was, of course, what are you harvesting during this fall equinox? But I also heard teamwork, and specifically, with everything, there's a season. That's what they say in Ecclesiastics. With everything, there is a season. With everything, there is a divine timing. And just as the seasons change, so you change as well. So for you, like, what does this season mean for you? And what I heard was teamwork. And it's so what I'm about to say, please don't shut me in my comments. Like, okay, just just take it. But what I heard was, you know how they always say, give God the glory, but then for some reason, as I heard give God the glory, I said, but why can't I have glory too? Like, why can't we be teamwork? Like, why can't we be like partners? And I also heard like stay in a child's place. So for some of you, the way it resonated was like, you could be scared to speak up on what you may want to do. You may be scared to speak up on how you feel about things, or, like throw ideas out there or something like that, because you don't want to step on nobody's foot. But at the end of the day, like, the reason why, with God, you don't have to tell him what you want. You don't have to tell him what you need. You don't have to tell him, you know what I mean? He already knows. He the one that put it in your heart. So, but with other people, if they can't read your mind, how they gonna know? So that is the big difference for sure. But at the end of the day, you do God's you do God's work, and he through him, like he moves through you. So I guess in a sense, like, you are working with God, like you are a team player. But for some reason, y'all, they are pulling me to these life purpose cards, and I don't really ever hardly use them, but I'm getting pulled to use them today. And they keep showing me this children's card. It says your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. But let's see if it pops back out, okay? But yeah, but that's kind of what it's just given in general for today's messages. What are you reaping? What have you been trying to sow? Where have your fertilizer been going? Your energy is your fertilizer. So what have you been given to? I know y'all show me stuff shuffling these cards, but we're not gonna talk about it. But yeah. All right, Spirit. I heard a lot of you have just been writing. You've been writing down your goals, but you haven't really been putting action towards it. So for you, what you're sowing, what you have been sowing is more so, you've been sowing it into your subconscious. You've been sowing it into yourself. Your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. So for some of you, what I'm picking up on is that's what it's giving me, though. It's like you've been it's like you've been trying to change the way that you think, the way that you see things, your perspective on things. Maybe you feel like you've been more negative around the world or to situations or something like that. So you've been trying to change the way how you see things. You're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. One more card, please. So the voice just said, I need for you to change before you can change things or change people, or, you know. And that's where that journaling is coming from, if that does resonate for you. Or maybe you've been setting a bunch of goals lately or something like that. But I just see somebody writing constantly writing. You are able to discern answers and guidance for others, for yourself and others. And then animals came out. You understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance, as the animals are part of your life's work. So for some of you, if you are a light worker or a healer or something of the sort, you definitely have to heal what's inside of you first. You have to heal and do for yourself before you can heal and do for others. And that is the biggest thing. When I first started my journey, I was able to still pick up on things around people, but not as much as I am now. And that's because I still have some healing to do and some lessons to learn myself. The one thing about a healer or a light worker, y'all, is that you go through a lot. And that's how you're able to sometimes discern the things that be going on with other people as well. Travel came out as well. So yeah, let's keep it moving though. But this is a message strongly for somebody, I think. You know, and even if you haven't been journaling or anything like that, potentially you could have been just trying to, potentially you could just be, I just hear like getting on track, get on track. So whatever that means for you with getting on track. A lot of people do like to write their goals out in order to see them, but some people are just action takers. They kind of just go with the flow. If that is you, maybe you need to actually start, you know, doing that, where you do start writing things out. So light came out again. Obstacles and challenges. The waiting game. One more card, please. For light to clarify light, listen. And then third eye chakra. I'm not taking these cards in the reverse today, I was just told. Yeah, so what this is giving me is that they're telling me, like, stop, like, write. Okay, so for the two groups of people, if you are the person that's journaling and writing a lot, just make sure that you don't just stop there. You still have to put action towards it. So if you write down, oh, I want to see things more positively, let's just start there, because light keeps popping on. In what ways do you actually make that happen? If somebody comes to you and they tell you some bad news, do you respond negatively or do you respond in a positive way? Do you say, oh, like, let's say they say, I don't know, hold up. They're giving me the for some reason, I keep thinking about car crashes, but they're giving me that example. So let's say you wrecked your car, right? Or somebody around you wrecked your car. What I said once is, yes, I wrecked my car, and yes, you know, I had to start a whole new car payment, is what I just heard. But at the end of the day, who knows? God could be protecting you, because let's say that car, like, the brakes was gonna go out one day and you was driving fast, or let's say something went wrong with, I don't know, just anything on that car, and it caused it to set, like, catch on fire, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's the way to look at things, to where it's like, maybe this is God's protection and I don't even know it. Or maybe there's a better car out there for you. Maybe you have a little sports car, and, you know, God needs you to get a minivan, and he know that you're not gonna get no minivan as long as you got that car, because he's about to give you a bunch of kids. You know, like, looking at things in that way. I know that's very, very, like, out there, but those are the examples that they gave me. But yeah, and these two cards came out in my last reading. They're gonna get posted at the same time, by the way. But these two chakras keep coming out together or right behind the other. So heavily, you could be getting headaches, downloads. You could be getting like those tension headaches that are directly behind one eye. Because those are ascension. I just heard ascension symptoms as well. So, but big on the downloads, big on the, you may hear things and you may be like, what the hell? Like, you may think you're going crazy, or you may be like, that's not how I feel about that, and it's not you, it's the download. With obstacles and challenges in the waiting game here, though, like, understand that when you are going through things, like, sometimes, and you feel like, man, I just got to get away from this, I just gotta move, I just gotta shift. Sometimes you have to stay in that energy and learn the lesson before you can actually move forward. They're giving me the example of bamboo. It takes 13 years for bamboo to cultivate underneath ground and build its systems before it can actually start growing. And I use this example sometimes, but although it may take 13 years for it to cultivate and do underneath the ground like it needs to do, and one day it can grow up to 4 feet. So keep that in mind. A lot of you have just been building your roots. And what do building your roots look like for you? Granted, you know, this is the fall time, so leaves are starting to fall. But for some of you, your peak season, or, you know, your sprouting season is now. Your 4 feet of growing is now. There are plants that are year-round. Is what they just said. Okay, they're telling me to switch decks, and they keep showing me these ones. No, actually, they're showing me these ones. Alright, so what's going on? What is it that the collective needs to harvest? What are we harvesting? Cultivating new ideas. Some of you may feel like you wish you would have started a garden for some reason, or started earlier. So it's something here about starting earlier. You may feel like you're late in doing something or achieving something. Don't think that way. That's a part of this light and thinking different and thinking positive. Don't think that way. Stop thinking that you're late to the game. I say this a lot too. When you think that way and you think that you're late coming to the game, if in 5 years you don't start, then you're still in the same position. But if you look back to the 5 years that have just passed, you think you're late. How are you going to feel in 5 years when you still haven't started? But also, think about it this way. One person could have started 10 years ago, and they could be a millionaire now. But you can start today and be a millionaire in two years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so never think that you're late, and never look at somebody else's situation and be like, dang, like, they already so far ahead. Like, there's no way I can catch up with them. Yes, you can. You'll be amazed. You will be amazed. Because you may not go about it in the same way. The same people that like them may not like you. The same partnerships that they got, you may find better. It's about what table you sit at, y'all. And God can put you at tables and in rooms that you'll never think that you would have been in. And that's some real game. Queen of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Six of Cups. All right. I need clarification on those. I just heard dreams do come true. And just like people, dreams come back around too. Is what they just told me. So for some of you, you could have been, so the storyline that they're giving me is that some of you could have tried something and it could have failed. Whether that was a business plan, or or starting a new business or something like that. You could have tried it and it could have failed, and then you felt, you might have been harsh on yourself. You might have thought like, all right, this ain't for me, I'm gonna give up. But sometimes in those failures are lessons that you need in order to make sure that the next time you don't make them. That way you can be successful. Would you rather for something to fail in its early stages or fail in its later stages, is what they just said. So I'd rather show you the things that you need to do now. And don't necessarily leave is what they're saying, but take a break. Take a break, go back to the drawing table and come back. see, and come back. So the I'm sorry, I hope you guys can see, but the Two of Cups can be partnerships as well, guys. So do keep that in mind. I'm just gonna move all this up. So yeah, the Two of Cups, like I said, though, it can be also partnerships in business. It can be romantic, but this is strongly on business, y'all, or how we look at your finances right now, or just goals and plans. All right, so one more card, Spirit. So with the Eight of Wands in reverse, Eight of Wands is a card about communication and everything. They're telling me that for some of you, if you're planning on taking a trip right now, please reconsider taking your trip, because you need to get some stuff done still before you can go. Either delay your trip or get what you need to get done. Don't take this trip and then you come back. I just heard everything set on fire. So if there's something that you just achieved and you're like, oh, let's go celebrate. I didn't really get the hiccups, y'all, but I got the hiccups right now. But don't leave your most prized possessions with people that you know you can't trust. Is what this just gave me. And that could have been, okay, so y'all don't know how this resonates, but for somebody, either you're about to take a trip and you're about to leave your most prized possession in the hands of somebody that you don't know can actually handle it, or this is what happened before and this is coming back around to test you. But also you do have to learn how to let go of things. You know how like a first time mom is really skeptical about people, like is really skeptical about people like watching over their kids or something like that. Like, be careful about who you allow to watch your kids. Be careful about who you allow to watch your pets as well, because this is underneath the animals card. So be careful about that. People don't love the things that you love as much as you love. Instead of allowing, and I know this may be more expensive, but instead of allowing somebody to watch your pet or come in and check in on your pet, put your pet at the groomers. I heard. Alrighty, so moving forward, it looks like here, like, I'm picking up on, like, some of you are very, very intuitive as well. This moment that you're coming into, you will be getting more downloads a lot more. Emphasis on the third eye again. And it's crazy because so for some reason I'm getting like a fly on the wall. There's somebody around you potentially who's only around you to steal game. Be careful about who you tell your goals to. Like, you can tell them like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Don't tell them how you're gonna get there. In this season, be more careful about who you talk to. In this season, keep things to yourself. Six of Cups underneath the Six of Cups. Y'all, I hope y'all seeing this, but and this is like a repeating cycle as well. But cycles are repeating because you haven't learned a lesson. And I'm getting here that it may be with different people or different job scenarios, different businesses. So what it may be is that you may give up on something and you may just move forward to another one. But think about it this way. If you didn't learn what you needed to learn, you're going to just keep having the same issues in another business. Business is business at the end of the day, y'all. Like, how you run a business is you can, like, and it's not to say like you run all businesses the same, but business is business, and it all starts with communication. And it's something here about communicating properly with teamwork, making sure that you have the right people at your table, like understanding the systems, understanding that, like, it's something here very, very strong about that. Like, that's what we need. That's what you need to focus on. I said we as a collective. Who needs to be at your table, and understanding that just because you love them don't mean that they need to be at the table. Heavy on that. It's okay to say the word no. If somebody asks you, like, hey, can I get a job? Like, I really need help. Well, how do you benefit me? Not to say that in, like, a rude way, y'all, but in what way do you benefit me? And they could be throwing at you, like, oh, you remember when we grew up together and we always said that we was going to do this? Yeah, that was when I was 5. That was when I was 10. Blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's what this is giving. This is giving very much so. Be careful about who you allow your babies to go to, whether that's your business, your kids, your animals, like however this resonates with you. Be careful about the hands that you put the things you love into. Heavy on that. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the reading and enjoy the rest of your day. Again, I say happy fall. I have this like huge tree in my backyard and I love this tree, y'all. Like, I love this tree, and every season I have to let it go, quote unquote. And then I be so excited when I see new leaves come back on it. Like, I'm like, hey baby. And I still go out there and I talk to it. I know I'm a tree talker, but at the end of the day, yeah, it kind of hurts. Like, I know that we're growing and we're expanding and we're rejuvenating our lives together. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the season change. Get out, go hiking if you like that kind of thing before it gets too cold. And just enjoy the weather. But enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.